Brian Storm here with Rock Feed, and we've got the legend himself, Chris Jericho, here. We're celebrating the success of Fozzy's new single, Judas. How's it going, man?
I like how it's Brian Storm, and we're in the middle of a storm. So, but yeah, Judas. I was going to tell you, we just got this news that the single Judas is #1 now on the iTunes charts in the States, Canada, Australia, and the UK. So I mean that's huge for us. It's a good day today.
It's a very good day, and it's a monumental moment to have something that comes out. Usually it's a slow burn, it's a slow build for a single that comes out. To see something like that shoot up so fast to the charts is awesome. Congratulations to you guys on that. One of the things I was curious about with you, and I was always curious about this, is that if I go out and you guys party, you're a fun band, and everything like that. You do so much, you have the wrestling career, the legendary career with wrestling. You have Fozzy, you have the career with that. How do you do all of it? Like I stay up late and I can't even get out of bed.
I think there's just a passion there. I think there's also a need to be creative at all times. And they're both childhood dreams of mine, was to be in a rock and roll band and be a wrestler. So you don't do both at the same time. WWE's finished now. Fozzy's firing back up. The timing of everything with Judas and the video and the tour and all that sort of stuff is not a coincidence. It's the way we booked it and made it happen. So it's all passion. I love doing what I do. I don't do anything at this point in time for money. I don't do anything because I feel I have to do it. Yes. I do it because I want to do it. And there's some huge things that I turn down. There's some really small things that I do because it would be fun for me. So I think I'm in a good position where you are participating in all these different things because I want to, and that makes it very gratifying when you have some success in all these different areas.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, because lightning has struck twice from you. It's not luck, obviously, but having two different levels of success in two complete different areas. To your younger self, what would you if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what would you say? Would you say, holy shit, it's unbelievable?
I'm not even too sure, because I was really had this iron will to do both these things. I remember when I was 15 years old, So I don't know if I'd go back and say anything. If anything, just stay the course and just keep doing what you're doing. Because when I was a kid, this is what I was going to do. And I was doing it. It was very low levels, independent wrestling at the local barn and doing demos in my house with my bass guitar and writing songs. But I was still doing it. And now here I am, 30 years later or whatever it is, doing them both at the highest of levels. Yeah. I mean, main event of WrestleMania, and we're not headlining the show tonight, but we're on the show. Yeah. And,
So only major bands are playing. This is a radio festival. Only major bands are playing.
I always say, we're not Metallica or Kiss, but we've toured with both of them. So that's pretty damn cool for me, and still growing, which is what I love. Yes. Like Fozzy, every album we put out, especially now. I just was talking with our manager this morning, and I was like, dude, we're on the verge of something big here, with Judas being so big in such a short period of time. So and that's all because of the hard work, because of the commitment, because of the great team that we have. This is not Chris Jericho and his flunkies. This is my band with 4 other dudes. Yes. This is our band. Yes. So it's a huge victory for everybody. And none of us takes it for granted. There's nobody in that room that has a big head or an ego. We all get along well. We're brothers. We congratulate each other or have a shoulder to cry on for each other. We've been through a lot together, and it's a really cool time to be in this band for sure.
Going into the studio to record a song like Judas, what's the game plan? How do you get psyched up for that? Is it something different from what else?
Well, it's a whole record, right? So Judas is the first single from the record that's called Judas. And we did something different this time. Rich Ward and I wrote all the songs in the past, but now Rich and our producer, Johnny Andrews, who did Lights Go Out with us a couple years ago, basically wrote all the songs. I had a little bit of writing in 2 of the tunes, which is different for me, but it doesn't matter who writes them. It's just about how good they are. All that matters is the song. Yes. And once you get that into your brain, it's amazing how much better the band is. So the mindset was we just had a group of songs, started recording them, but Judas stood out from the start as wow, that one's going to be good. Excuse me. Another thing is too, there's a difference between a song when you're listening to the demo and then when you get the final copy. A lot of times songs will change and morph, if they don't turn out as good as you thought they would. Or Judas's case, it turned out better.
Yes.
And as soon as we delivered it to the record company, there was a little bit of talk of which should be the first single. Then after a while, it's what are we even wasting our time for? That's Judas for sure. And now we see that we're right. So yeah, the mindset is just to write the best song you can, and then it just goes wherever it's going to go after that.
Yeah. Okay, so wrapping up here, what is the plan for the future going forward this year and next year with Fozzy? What's the game plan there on the success of Judas with the wind at your back?
Well, this is just the beginning right now, like you said, the wind at your back. So we're touring right now in May, all throughout the states with King and Sons of Texas, and then we go over to Europe in June for the Download Festival and do some shows over there. And then, other than that, it's like we will get ready to release the record in September. We go back to Europe October, November, and then we'll come back to the States. And then the tour really begins in earnest when the record comes out in September. So this is just kind of a welcome back type thing, start the momentum rolling, and then when the tour cycle starts, you're out there for a year and a half, 2 years, you know?
Chris Jericho, thank you. The new single from Fozzy, Judas, is out now. It's taking over the globe, and you can look for a new album later this year. Brian Storm here with Chris Jericho. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The storm is here.